Kibo, the king of speed on the savanna. The savanna, an endless sea of grass stretching to the horizon. There, the wind carries the scent of dry earth and the footsteps of countless creatures. This is the wild stage, where life and death intertwine in nature's dance. Amid that sea of grass, the ruler is not the lion, but a giant bird. Kibo, the only bird that needs no wings, yet it is speed and explosive power in every stride that make him the ruler of the savanna sky on the ground. Standing up to 3 meters tall and weighing more than 150 kilos, Kibo towers like a giant of the grasslands. His long, muscular legs are a perfect machine, carrying him to speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. His wings, though not used for flight, serve as balance when running and as a display of strength in combat. One kick from Kibo is powerful enough to crush a lion's bones, making predators wary of facing him head-on. The eyes of the ostrich, measuring up to 50 millimeters in diameter, are the largest of any land animal. With their exceptional vision, they detect predators from afar, turning those eyes into weapons of survival across the vast savanna. In the midst of the harsh dry season, Kibo can survive for many days without drinking water, absorbing moisture from grass and wild fruits. This is the secret that allows ostriches to endure in the driest regions of the savanna. When the mating season arrives, Kibo performs a powerful dance, spreading his wings, ruffling his feathers, raising his neck high, shaking his head, and circling the female. The skin on his legs and his beak turn a bright pinkish red, signaling his readiness to mate. The nest is built on bare ground, where many females will lay their eggs together, but only the main female and the male take part in incubation. Ostrich eggs are the largest in the world, weighing up to 1.5 kilos. Each breeding season, an ostrich can lay between 10 and 20 giant eggs. A single egg could feed a family for many days, but on the grasslands, it is a treasure that predators never stop coveting. During the breeding season, Kibo becomes aggressive, ready to attack other animals to defend his flock and territory. When enemies lurk, he uses his tremendous speed and massive body to drive away any intruder that dares to come near. Within the flock, the female ostrich often selects one special egg to be placed at the center of the nest for protection and priority incubation. This is nature's way of ensuring the next generation has the highest chance of survival. At scorching midday, heat shimmers from the ground like rising smoke. Kibo and the females graze in fragile peace, unaware that in the tall grass a group of cheetahs is silently lying in wait. The two living arrows of the savanna, the cheetah and the ostrich, are about to hurl themselves into a merciless chase, where victory means life and failure means death. Suddenly, the cheetah bursts forth like lightning. Two ostriches leap up and flee. Kibo, with his lightning-fast legs, escapes by a hair's breadth. But the slower female becomes the target, collapsing at once beneath the predator's claws. The chase ends as the cheetah pack rushes in to feast. Razor-sharp teeth tear through feathers, growls echoing among the grass. Ostrich flesh becomes the prize that feeds the bloodthirsty hunters of the savanna. The eggs hatch into new life, but the mother's figure is gone. Kibo becomes the only pillar of support, guiding the bewildered chicks across the harsh grasslands, passing on the instincts of survival so that the journey may continue. The ostrich is the only bird with just 2 toes. This minimalist design turns it into a perfect speed machine, like racing shoes bestowed by nature to conquer the savanna. As Kibo runs across the sea of grass, seeds cling to his leg feathers and are carried far away, scattering life and renewing the vegetation. The ostrich, though unwittingly, plays the role of a silent architect of the grasslands. As dusk falls, Kibo dashes across the fiery red sea of grass. His silhouette reminds us that true strength lies not in wings, but in legs that know how to break limits and seize life. Oryx, the warrior of the Namib Desert. The winds of the Namib Desert howl like an invisible army, lifting blazing red grains of sand into the sky. In the midst of that blinding sandstorm, proud silhouettes emerge, their horns rising like swords piercing the burning sun. Oryx, the gem spot, symbol of strength, pride, and the will to survive in the harshest extremes. Its horns stretch up to 1.20 meters, straight and sharp like the spears of ancient warriors. They are not only a symbol of beauty, but also weapons strong enough to pierce the flesh of enemies, even bringing down a full-grown lion. When the sunlight glimmers on the dunes, the two horns blend into one, forming a legendary vision. Many ancient tribes believed that the oryx was the origin of the unicorn legend, a creature of pride and mystery. When the dry season reaches its peak, not only water, but even the scarce patches of green grass become battlefields. The males step out from the herd, their bodies tense like drawn bows, horns lowered in readiness for the fight. The clash of horns echoes through the stillness. Each strike is a challenge. Blood spatters onto the red sand, yet neither steps back. The victor earns the right to lead the herd and guard the territory. The defeated must leave, wandering through the burning sea of sand, carrying the scars of failure and the weight of solitude. In the arid ecosystem of the Namib Desert, the oryx is a silent guide. Its footsteps open the way for other herbivores, leading them to rare patches of grass. The oryx keeps the cycle of life unbroken amid the endless sea of sand. By day, herds of oryx usually shelter beneath the sparse shade of thorny trees, conserving energy and avoiding the scorching heat. Only in the early morning and late afternoon do they move with strength, their eyes ever watchful for dangers lurking from afar. Beneath the dazzling sun, a herd of oryx grazes. In the distance, a lion hides in the dry grass, drawing closer step by silent step. A sudden eruption. The herd of oryx bolts away, hooves tearing through the golden sand as red dust rises in a choking cloud. The lions surge forward, the gap between predator and prey shrinking with every second. But the most merciless enemy of the oryx is not the lion, but the Namib Desert itself. The scorching daytime heat, the searing dry winds, and the endless lack of water push them to the very edge of survival. The frail calves often cannot withstand the harsh trials. Only a united herd, under the protection of the adults, has the chance to guide the new generation safely across the burning sea of sand. Each day of survival is a victory, and that victory is paid for with strength, intelligence, and survival instincts honed through thousands of years of evolution. Twilight stains the Namib sands red as the herd of oryx stands tall, their horns raised like spears guarding life. A majestic yet solitary image, like a warning sent to all humankind. The oryx is not just an antelope, it is the spirit of the desert. A symbol of resilience, teaching us lessons of adaptation and pride. To protect the oryx is to protect the fragile cycle of life in this harsh land, where survival and death are separated by nothing more than a single hot wind. In nature, no victory is ever permanent. Strength will eventually fade, but the mark of pride and the power of adaptation will remain, etched deep into the endless cycle of life. Giraffe, the giant of the savanna. Dawn bursts over the African savanna, revealing a golden kingdom awakening. And from that sea of grass, colossal silhouettes rise like living towers. Not trees, not man-made structures. They are giants with legs like pillars, holding up the sky. Giraffes, majestic yet harboring unexpected strength. Male giraffes can reach up to 5.4 meters, while females grow to around 4.3 meters, both standing tall and majestic, nearly 3 times the height of an adult human. They are the tallest animals on the planet. Their eyes rise high above the grasslands, scanning every movement of predators from over a kilometer away. Height is not only an advantage, but also a weapon for survival. The heart of a giraffe is a supreme machine. Weighing more than 11 kilos, it generates twice the pressure of a human heart, driving blood up to a brain nearly 3 meters above the ground. Without it, every stride could make them collapse or even prove fatal. All these traits form a perfect survival machine, yet they also hold secrets few people know. They are not merely leaf eaters. They feed on foliage at heights no other species can reach, clearing the way for lower feeders, such as antelopes and zebras, to access food. There is a secret hidden beneath this graceful exterior. The endless neck is not just for browsing leaves, but for fighting. With only 7 vertebrae, just like humans, yet each as large as a baseball bat. And in combat, the neck turns into a massive sledgehammer. When the dry season comes, the males begin their battles to compete for territory and mates. They stand face to face, necks raised high, eyes blazing. Then a swing of the neck crashes down like a sledgehammer, the sound echoing like thunder. Each strike can tear skin, break bones, and even take a life. The battle is not only about strength, it is an ancient ritual of thousands of years, where the victor earns the right to pass on the finest genes to the next generation. This is the reason why the giraffe's neck is so long, not to reach the branches, but to win dominance and affirm the stature of a true giant. Female giraffes are resilient mothers. When a calf is born, the herd forms a protective circle, their long legs ready to kick away any predator that dares to come close. The calf needs only a few hours to stand firm and follow the herd. Yet the first months of life are the harshest trial. Enemies are ever watchful, from lions to hyenas and even African wild dogs. Only unity, vigilance, and speed can ensure the survival of the next generation. Every step of the herd is a challenge cast towards the entire world of predators. By day, giraffes move in small herds, their eyes ever watchful. They feed constantly, with each individual able to consume more than 30 kilos of leaves a day, keeping the acacia forests in check. When drinking, they are forced to spread their front legs wide and lower their head to the ground. In this moment, they are extremely vulnerable to attack. One small mistake, and a lurking lion will charge like a phantom. That is why within the herd, there are always a few individuals standing guard, watching in all directions. At the sound of an alarm call, the whole herd bolts like the wind, their long legs sweeping across the ground at speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour. As dusk falls, their towering necks are bathed in the crimson glow of twilight. In that moment, they appear like pillars holding up the sky. And perhaps the greatest lesson giraffes teach us is that to survive and rise, it takes not only strength, but also a vision that reaches beyond all limits. Sea crab, the armored warrior of the ocean. When the tide recedes, on the damp, sandy shore, hundreds of tiny creatures suddenly appear. With their sideways walk and claws held high, they capture the curiosity of anyone watching. That is the sea crab, an ancient crustacean that has existed for more than 200 million years. A silent witness to the rise and fall of countless other creatures, it has endured, holding its ground amid the relentless whirl of evolution. But behind that hard shell and rough exterior, could there be an entire mysterious world that few truly know about? The sea crab's shell is thick, shaded in greenish-brown or deep violet, like an ancient armor. Its powerful claws can snap the shells of clams and snails, serving both as formidable weapons of attack and as a sturdy shield against enemies. The hind legs are flattened like paddles, helping them swim well and move agilely underwater. Some males weigh over 1.5 kilograms, with claws radiating astonishing strength. The sea crab possesses a marvelous ability of regeneration. Lost legs or claws can grow back. Yet this process does not happen instantly. It requires many molts before being fully restored. They have extremely sensitive chemical sensing organs, allowing them to smell food from a great distance. Remarkably, their blood is blue because it contains copper instead of iron like in humans. Some species can even communicate by drumming their claws on rocks or tapping their shells, producing distinctive signals to interact with others of their kind. The sea crab is a hermit of the ocean, active mostly at night. When the sun rises, it buries itself deep beneath the sand or slips into rocky crevices, avoiding both the harsh light and the pursuit of predators. As omnivores, they hunt small fish, shrimp, mollusks, and even animal carcasses. Thanks to this, crabs act as natural cleaners, keeping the marine environment clean and balanced. Males are usually more aggressive and combative, using their massive claws to fight for territory or mating rights. In the natural world, sea crabs are not only hunters of the sandy seabed, but also common prey. They are often on the menu of lurking groupers, swift octopuses, skillful sea otters, and countless seabirds in the sky. Young crabs, often before their fragile shells have hardened, become meals for their larger kin. In the world of crustaceans, life is always harsh, where the weak often pay with their very lives. Beyond natural predators, crabs face the greatest threat from humans, from overfishing and water pollution to the destruction of their habitats. During the breeding season, millions of crabs leave their burrows at once, creating crimson rivers flowing towards the sea. This spectacle is one of nature's most magnificent moments. At the water's edge, the female releases thousands of tiny eggs into the ocean. The larvae hatch and drift with the currents for weeks before molting and transforming into young crabs. Only a tiny fraction of the millions of larvae survive to reach adulthood, overcoming hungry fish, crashing waves, and countless predators. It is this harshness that forges the species' remarkable resilience. On the sandy shore, two male crabs face each other. They raise their claws high and charge into battle. The dry, sharp sound of shells clashing echoes until one finally backs down. Sea crabs are a vital link in the ocean's ecosystem. They control bottom-dwelling organisms, clean up carcasses, and help keep the coastal marine environment in balance. At the same time, crabs are also a food source for many species of fish, seabirds, and humans. Without them, the ecosystem would quickly become unstable. Sea crabs are not only a familiar seafood on the human table, but in nature, they are resilient, armored warriors. With a history spanning hundreds of millions of years, they have endured countless upheavals to maintain their presence. And perhaps what makes sea crabs truly special is not just their hard shells or sharp claws, but their unwavering determination to overcome danger. Otter, warrior of the waterways. In the deep water kingdom of the Amazon, there is a throneless king, both playful and resilient. That is the otter. The The otter brings a sense of familiarity, charm, and playfulness. Yet behind that gentle appearance lies a resilient warrior, one that has endured challenges and adapted through thousands of years of evolution. With its slender, sinuous body and webbed feet, the otter turns into an arrow darting swiftly through the water. In the murky water, the otter's whiskers become a second pair of eyes, detecting even the faintest vibrations. An otter's fur is among the warmest coats in the natural world, with millions of hairs trapping air to fend off the cold. This is also why humans once hunted them, causing their numbers to decline severely. Not only energetic, otters are also true masters of the water. They adapt to rivers, lakes, and seas, able to dive for several minutes in pursuit of prey, thanks to their breath control and precise movements. Behind its quiet hunting form, the otter is also a creature of kinship, with many species living in warm family groups along the water's edge. They play and roll about on the sandy banks, creating lively and social scenes that make this species appear more endearing than ever. Otter pups are born blind and entirely dependent on their mother. They live in dens along the riverbank, safe from predators. The mother otter teaches her young how to swim, dive, and hunt. These are survival lessons, marking the beginning of a challenging journey to adulthood. Each year, otters usually have only a small litter. The care of the parents, especially the protective role of the male in some species, gives the pups a greater chance of survival. The family bonds of otters are regarded as some of the strongest in the wild animal kingdom. They hunt, play, and defend their territory from intruders together. The otter's menu is remarkably varied. They hunt fish, crabs, shrimp, and even water birds and other small animals. With sharp teeth and great agility, the otter is a true menace to aquatic creatures. When hunting underwater, the otter uses its whiskers to sense vibrations and locate prey even in darkness. Each bite is precise, leaving the prey with little chance to escape. Though skilled hunters, otters are always under threat from larger predators such as crocodiles, giant snakes, and even jaguars. In life and death situations, otters do not flee immediately. They often join together in groups, forming a circle and bravely fighting back. Their unity has saved them from death many times. The otter species still endures with strength. Each adult is proof of a journey through danger, continuing the lineage along the surging rivers. Otters do not rely solely on physical strength. They are renowned for their intelligence, using stones to crack open shells, storing food, and even creating shelters from branches and dry leaves. That cleverness has made the otter one of the most familiar and admirable mammals in the eyes of humans. Along the Amazon River, or on the coast of Portugal, the otter is not only a creature of nature, but also a symbol of the bond between humans and the wild. Otters, the tireless travelers of the waterways, remind us that skill, unity, and the will to survive can overcome even the harshest dangers. But today, their greatest enemy is no longer the jaguar or the crocodile, but the disappearance of clean rivers and habitats. To protect the otter is to protect the purity of the waters and the future of our own lives. Hyena, the laughter of the savanna. Amid the scorching midday sun of the African savanna, as the herd of antelopes grazes, a chilling sound suddenly echoes. A harsh, piercing laugh echoes across the land. It is the omen of one of the savanna's most notorious predators, the hyena. The hyena has a powerful muscular body, with high shoulders and jaws strong enough to crush a large bone in a single bite. They are not merely scavengers, as many believe. In fact, hyenas are master hunters, with a success rate even higher than that of lions. Remarkably, hyenas live in a matriarchal society where the females dominate the clan and hold the power of leadership. The call of instinct echoes across the savanna as the female leaders charge at the head of the pride, their eyes locked on a lone wildebeest separated from the herd, a creature about to face its worst nightmare. They do not rush in hastily. Instead, the hyenas patiently press, split the herd, and lock on to the weakest. When the moment comes, the entire clan strikes. Dust erupts, and the prey's life ends in the blink of an eye. The hyena's jaws have the most powerful bite of any carnivorous mammal. Their bite is so strong it can crush the thigh bone of a giraffe. The hyena's speed of 50 km/h is not only for the chase, but also a weapon that erodes the will to fight. They maintain relentless pressure, driving the prey to exhaustion until it falls neatly into the jaws of death. On the harsh savanna, hyenas and lions stand face to face. Hyenas rely on numbers, attacking from all sides. The lion strikes back with thunderous pounces. Hyenas are omnivores. They hunt fresh meat, feed on carcasses, and even eat fruit when necessary. In doing so, they help keep the savanna clean and reduce the spread of disease. Without hyenas, the savanna would quickly be overrun with carcasses, the stench of death spreading and disease breaking out. The cycle of life would collapse. Herbivores would wither, predators would weaken, and the fragile balance of the ecosystem would fall apart completely. Hyenas possess a rare intelligence in the wild. When hunting, they do not rush into chaos, but employ sophisticated group tactics, dividing roles and coordinating seamlessly to drive their prey to the very end. They use a variety of sounds to communicate. Every laugh, every hiss, carries its own message that fellow hyenas can understand. Even within the clan, battles erupt. When the leader grows old and weak, the successor will challenge with relentless bites and blows. The echoing laughter at midday is no longer a sign of joy, but the declaration of power by the strongest. Hyena cubs often become targets for leopards, large antelopes, or even lions. Yet the protection of the entire clan gives them a far greater chance of survival than many other species. Hyenas are not only the spreaders of fear with their eerie laughter, they are also guardians of order, ensuring the fragile balance so that the wheel of life on the savanna never stops turning. The laughter of the hyena is a declaration of survival. As long as that sound echoes across the vast savanna, Africa retains its wild soul, where natural order is upheld through the brutal cycles of survival.